What's up, LinkedIn? That's the second time I'm filming this video. So welcome back to my channel. Today I woke up with the song Pieces of a Dream by Anastasia in my head, and this song is very significant to me because, and especially this album, but also this song, because this is a song that my mother used to hear when she lost her mother, and I'm just, putting my cut. And it was stuck in my head today, and it's a really, like, like it hit a chord. When a song is stuck in your head, like a song like that, it hit a chord inside of me, and it hits a chord because it's like I I remember hearing that album a lot when we were going trips, when we were at a house. My mother used to listen to a lot of Anastasia, and I grew up listening to a lot of Anastasia, right? And I have, like, for about a week that I'm stuck with Anastasia again, listening to old songs because they stuck in my head. Songs such as I Belong to You with Eros Ramazzotti that she has, Rare View, I'm Out of Love, like a lot of songs that are really in your eyes. Like a lot of songs, some of them really popular, some of them not. But yeah, it hit a chord for me because Anastasia was one of the really personal and favorite artists of my mother, and then she became mine. And I used to believe that she is, which I still do believe, she's one of the greatest vocalists. She has such a raw and dynamic voice. And, and just excuse me, okay? And I was like, and today it was stuck in my head that we had hope and now it's broken. Like the specific lyrics, like, we had hope but now it's broken, and then the whole chorus, which is like, and I can see it clearly once when you were here with me, and and now somehow all that's left are pieces of a dream. And it happens that yesterday I sent a text to this one friend of mine, for the second time, that we cannot do that. And again, like, during this eclipse season, which is the second eclipse season when it comes down to the Pisces and Virgo nodes, and I was, and this whole feeling of I need to let this one person go came up again. And it wasn't just like, okay, like, you need to leave this person. It was like, you really need to leave this person. Like, my body was feeling like I can no longer keep space subconsciously for this person, and I had it in my head for so long, and I was really angry, but I did not know, like, I wrote thousands of messages that I could send to this person, but nothing felt like, what, I'm saying what I have to say, or nothing felt like that's it, right? And I sit a long time before I reply. And I finally did, because I was like, just not sending something and staying silent is what, me in the past would have done. But I just cannot let this one thing go silently, right? Because like I did that for so long with people in my life, and it's like, no, I own it to myself to speak and say my truth while I'm ending things. And so, you know, I ended things with this person. This is the person that brought me to this whole spirituality, new age, and all that. And you know, let's just speak a little bit about friendships and how, you know, how bad and how sad it may feel when you know that you have to leave a person behind. It's just so difficult, you know. For so long I thought that she was my soul sister, my soul family. Maybe she is, you know. She used to remind me a lot of myself. She has some really beautiful qualities. I feel like they still remind myself, but what I no longer resonate with is, you know, you can be pure, but if you do not protect your purity, if you do not protect this beautiful part of you that is so raw and loving and caring and generous, if you do not protect that, you know, if you do not put boundaries with people in your relationships, if you do not have discernment, if you do not, you know, prioritize yourself, that's going to make you sick. That, you know, like life is going to one way or another point you to what you need to do, and that sometimes is, you know, like you know, learn the hard way, okay? And and I love this person still, even if I was angry writing the message, which I wasn't. I was angry with this person, my anger, but I just wanted to stay as like collect as I can. And that's something that my Capricorn rising is all about, right? And even like I have Capricorn Mars, like it's Capricorn Mars is like very collected, right? Like strategic and all. But at the same time, as you know, we're going through this whole Virgo cleanse, this, you know, where the Virgo is cleansing. We cleanse the energy of Virgo and we purify it. It's like for so long I thought I need to be perfect, I needed to be good. I thought I need to end things with people good, and maybe that's like also like my MC and Libra, like this personal persona, what people remember of me, what people think of me and all that. I want to always end things on good terms, but the thing is that maybe not everything needs to end on good terms. Maybe not everything is supposed to do that. And what I'm realizing with this whole eclipse season that we had is that I haven't allowed myself to be angry. And also, as you know, my Saturn, no, now Saturn is retrograde in Pisces, but like in some months is going to come back to Aries. And I feel like what Saturn is going to teach me, and is teaching me slowly since, you know, he started transit in Aries, which is in my 4th house, is like you need to be angry. Being angry is your responsibility. You know, expressing your anger is your responsibility. You know, and putting boundaries is your responsibility. It's no one else's responsibility to do that for you, okay? And especially on family matters. But like the 4th house is what the 4th house is what girl the 4th house is what prepares you for the 10th house, right? For your public persona, for the job, for the work, you know, for your workplace, for, you know, like whatever you're gonna do when it comes down to work ethic, right? And your work period. So it's like it's your responsibility to do those things. And with this whole Virgo thing that we're going right now, this Virgo cleanse, I realized that, oh my gosh, you know, I've tried for so long not to be so messy, not to cause any harm, and I was always like, you know, I was working on eggshells, and I wanted to make everybody happy, and I didn't want to make anybody unhappy and sad. But the thing is, what I realized excuse me, as I grow up, is that that's not my responsibility, you know? Like, I have been the parentified child, and I have learned to take everybody else's responsibility and be so responsible that I just carried that in my relationships with other people outside of my home. And that is really sad and bad, because like, I'm not responsible for your feelings. I'm not. You know, I'm not. I can be responsible. I can take, you know, ownership that, oh, you know, what I said there wasn't good, and maybe it didn't make you feel right, or maybe I just hit a chord. Of course, if you let me know. But if I'm going to express my truth, okay, if I'm going to say what you did hurt me, it's, you know, it's going to make you feel hurt, then, you know, like, that is also closing my voice, that is also closing my mouth, that is just denying my experience. And my experience is that I felt angry, I felt sad, and most of the times when people feel angry is because they feel sad, they feel hurt. And I felt really hurt with this friend, because we also had our own our troubles when the nodes were in Aries and Libra, and that means a lot of things, right? Because that's when a lot of relationships ended. That's where a lot of things just broke, right? And I kept going to this person. I just wanted to work things out, and this whole thing with control and all that. And now that we're in this whole nodal shift in Virgo and Pisces, like, why was I, you know, holding on to this one friendship for dear life? That was because my life was crumbling, was falling apart. My old life was falling apart, and keep the familiar people around me, especially my friends, was something that I really needed, as everything was falling apart, right? And I was like, who am I anymore? I don't know me. I was my identity was dying, and I was like, I was having like identity crisis, and just a whole death, and the whole tower and death moment. And you know, and it's real tough, because like, you know, sometimes you really like people, you really love people, you really want to see people shine, and you really want to work things out, but just, you know, a relationship is a tango. That's what I I say, like, a relationship is a tango. Like, it needs, you know, it takes both. It takes two to dance. We cannot just have a waltz, or, you know, whatever dance. It takes two to dance if we're not going to put in the work both. You know, like, I'm not going to put in the work for our relationship, because like, that's not how it's just supposed to be. A relationship is a, you know, a two parties being involved. Okay, so, and I was trying for like 2 years and maybe even more to work out this relationship, while the other person was working out other relationships, other things, you know. And I was always in the backtrack, always like on the back seat. And no matter how many times I expressed what was really, you know, what it was my discomfort, what was making me feel uncomfortable, what wasn't for me, this person just, you know, was saying yes then, and then was keep doing the same things. So that kind of was like, you know, it was meaning no. It was meaning that, you know, yes, I heard you right now, and I'm going to say yes, but then I'm not going to work this thing out. I'm going to keep it in the subconscious that, you know, like, I don't care about you. And you know, a lot of people may say, but I care about you. The thing is that what I have noticed, and what is my truth today, is that people don't care unless they show up. People don't care unless they show it with their actions. People can say they care, but like, to care is to really, you know, like, show up when people need you. It's just to show up in their good times and their bad times, you know, in both of these times, not just the goods or just the bads, you know. Because like, seeing one side of the coin, there's like seeing one side of me, and I have so many sides. And And for so long I was trying to keep the peace with these person, because I wanted to be in my life, and at some point I was fake. I'm going to admit it. I was fake because I was fake to my own self. I was people pleasing to a point I did not know who I was, and that is because I grew up with narcissistic people. Narcissistic people tend to make you forget and tend to make you lose your identity and who you are, as a person. So for a lot of years of my life, I was just people pleasing around my relationships. I just wanted to give and give and give and give and give and give and just take this little bit of validation. And I was walking on eggshells because I didn't want to make anyone unhappy. And because I know how it is to be unhappy, but when years passed and a lot of shit went down and shit hit the fan, and when shit hit the fan, it was like, these people don't care to do the same thing back, when it comes down to me. Like, those people rather, um, choose themselves and do what they have to do, their schedule, their programs and all that, and they don't care about me. They rather, they rather do their thing, and just and excuse themselves than take responsibility, take accountability for what they're putting in these relationships and what they're doing. And it's like, what? I had to learn it and find out the hard way. Some people really just don't care. Some people really just they want people to be in relationships with, and they just take, and they may not look and sound like it, but they do, and that is in their actions. Like, if you have people which you have gone through some wild shit alone, and they were never there, and you just feel alone even though you have friends, that is a big indicator that you don't have real friends. That is a big indicator that you don't have friends. You just put this illusion in your head that you have. And to be truly honest and keep it real with you, I needed to be illusioned when it came down to my friendships. I needed to believe and feel that I have people to lean on and hold on to survive a lot of things in my life, and a lot of times in my life. So that kept me alive. So that's not a bad thing, but it's a bad thing when it's making you sick after a little while. It's not for your own good anymore. It's doing the opposite, okay? And so I had to let go of this person because it was making me sick the way we were communicating. There was like, the communication just wasn't there. Like, and also this person wasn't there for themselves, and that's why they couldn't show up for me. But they always had this they learn have this excuse of, I'm not stable yet, I'm not there yet, I haven't healed yet, I cannot help you. And it's like, I haven't healed yet either. What are you talking about? Like, no one is here healed and okay. Like, but this is not an excuse for me not to show up when you need me, right? But this person had an excuse because they had their own mental health and their own problems all the time. And it's, what, it's okay. I get it. We all have problems, but it's not okay when you get the help all the freaking time and you never show up for the other people. You say all those big words because, like, this person said, like, if you ever need something, tell me. And I needed some things in August, and she gave me some, but then like, that was quick. Like, she gave me some, and then she was like, she distanced herself. And I had like a distant father and a distant mother. Even though she was at home, she was distant from my life. She was distant emotionally. She was distant from my truth, from my private things and matters. She was distant from a lot of things of my life, and also my father. And it's like, I'm not going to do the same thing. I'm sorry. Like, like, it's getting tiring. And also, I felt like I was babysitting after a little while this girl with this friend. And that is because like, this person was just so overprotected. And when you're so overprotective, or when you have overprotective parents and parents who just baby you, till you 30 or 40, you never get to go out in life and experience life, and then life is gonna hit you. And how do I know that? My mother used to be an overprotective child. And it's crazy how, you know, relationships tend to reflect or mirror a lot of parental, you know, a lot of things when it comes down to roots. But like, my mother was an overprotective child, her parents had a lot of money, so you know, she was cool. She didn't need to go to work. She worked just for a little bit and then she stopped. You know, but she was cared for, right? And that's a great thing. We're blessed, right? We were blessed. We still are. But the thing is that when she hit 42 and she divorced, and she had, like, you know, she had like 2 kids. She left with 2 kids, 2 teenage kids, and three dogs and a house and all that. She already had like her fortune, all that. That's when she had to face the world, and that was too much for her. And I understand, you know, because she never learned how to be an adult. Still to this day, she don't know how to be an adult, because she always needed someone to babysit her, whether that was my father, whether that was me, my sister, other people, her other partners. Like, she always needed someone to babysit her, because she never learned, you know, how to protect herself. She never learned how to do some things on her own. She never learned how to be an adult and how to take responsibility and you know, and face things, you know, right? All she learned, like, how to hide, how to be overprotected by other people. And that's what this friend reminded me. And it's like, you know, it's only for so long you can live in the opposite side of the spectrum, right? Because then this side isn't going to make you be in this other side, which is face reality, and that's a harsh reality, right? And it makes you face your responsibilities and what you need to do, right? And how you need to protect yourself, and how you need to create your own stability and all that. And when a person hasn't learned that, it's really sad, and it's going to be really dramatic when they have to find out the truth, and when they have to be put in not an overprotected mode, and generally, you know, place, you know, they're not going to like it, and it's going to hit them so hard. Like, I cannot imagine how hard it hit my mother when she left with 2 teenage kids and 3 dogs and everything, right? That she had faced years of trauma and years of rejection and years of a lot of things that she hasn't till now accepted or faced, right? But yeah, that's what happens when you're overprotected for all of your life. Life is going to hit you hard one day, okay? And yeah, I don't like that. And you know, when you have a person like that, and me, I'm on the other spectrum. I have learned how to be responsible. I have learned how to parentify everybody. I have learned how to babysit everybody. I have learned how to be the mother of the group and all that. It's like, enough. You know, like, I'm not going to babysit you anymore. I did that for so long with a lot of people, with you, but it's like, I have to take care of myself. Because, like, I had to be insulin resistant. Then I had to have like a really traumatic trip, and I had to have a lot of things happening to me mentally, physically, and all, and a lot of illnesses, like, really in early ages, to realize that, hey, you know, like, people aren't really just, you know, I have to show up for myself. I have to protect myself, and I have not to only protect myself, and I have to care for myself, right? Like, I'm my best friend, and I care for everybody else. But you know, even though that is true and valid, it's also valid that I'm really sad and disappointed and hurt that this person did not show up for me like I thought they would. It's really sad, because we shared things, right? We shared memories. We had lived, we have lived a lot of things together, you know. And we have seen each other in a lot of phases and in a lot of breakdowns or breakthroughs. Um, but it's really sad. Nobody's talking about how you may know you need to leave a person, but it's going to take you a while till you actually do. And that happened for me because, as I said, you know, it's really difficult when you have to leave the familiar things behind. Because when, you know, when all you have learned is that you are who you are, you know, like I knew back then for like 1 or 2 years before, I was like, you know, I know who I am. I have this one thing, I have the other thing, you know, like I'm an owner of like this fortune. I have my mother and my sister. I, you know, have these 3 friends. I have this interest and all that. Like that's what I know. I am. But then when everything fall apart, when I had to leave every single thing behind, it's like, who the fuck I am? You know what I'm saying? And of course I had to leave also these 3 friends behind. And a lot of childhood friends behind. And I was like, oh my gosh, like who am I without every single one of these people? Who am I without every single one of these places, situations, you know, and all that? Like who am I? So that's difficult. And it's difficult also because, you know, friendships are really different. Like we have shared a lot of things with each other, and sometimes it's also really difficult to leave people when you have learned to be mistreated all your life, you know, all your life. Like I have learned to be mistreated by my parents, so it was so difficult for me to leave people behind who treat me like shit. And I would, you know, I have done my own cycles around that, and that stopped around August when I was like, you know, I had hit rock bottom, mentally, physically, spiritually, everywhere, economically, and I'm like, you know, I cannot do this anymore. I don't care. Like I cannot care anymore. Like fuck all these people. I have to look out for me. I have to just, you know, I have to do me. And what I realized, like when I just stopped being around these people, that's when my health came back, spiritual clarity, mental clarity came back. I'm still working on this, but the thing is, you know, with my health, because I also had like this one session with this medical intuitive kind of pointing me out to where I need to look out for you know, when it comes down to health. And yeah, I'm doing my own thing. But as I left all these people behind, I feel free. I finally feel like, oh, I can fucking breathe. Like, oh my gosh, you know, I don't have to give no I don't have to say anything to anyone. And one thing I also realized when I asked for help on this front and with everybody else is that people have learned how to give solutions and advices, but they haven't learned to listen. They haven't learned to listen. They haven't learned how to understand and to keep space for you. They haven't learned how to just be there. And to just be there sometimes is like staying at the bottom of the ocean with me. Okay? Giving me space, giving me time. A lot of people think they needed to tell you what to do, like they know better for your life. And for so long, you know, because I was the person giving solution and advice, and that's what I realized in December, that, you know, I wasn't as good friend as I thought I was. Like I was giving advice and I was giving solutions, but was I really, like, I was listening, but was I really there? Was I really present? Was I just really giving space for people to feel, you know, or was it just putting people out, right? So that's me owning up and say, you know, I wasn't as a good friend as I thought. Like I could do better, but sometimes you cannot do better if you haven't learned some things about your own self, if you haven't went through your own journey. You know, sometimes you're going to fuck up. That's like, you're going to fuck up to find the right way to do things. And I'm such a 3-6 line in human design. Like I'm here to make a ton of mistakes and trials and errors till my 30s, right? Like, that's what I'm here to do. But I'm owning up to it. At least, you know, I'm not blaming anyone. You know, like I get some things, right? And I'm Capricorn rising. I will own up and I'll be responsible for my own shit, no matter what. So, um, so, what I want to say. So yeah, I was a person that I was giving advice to everyone, and I wanted to take advice, and now that I'm taking advice, is like it's worse. It's the worst thing, and it's like I was doing that to my friends, and I thought I was such a good person, and I was helping them when I really wasn't. Like, what the fuck is that? You know, like no one can know my life better than me. Okay, I mean, like people can point out, you know, because like what this one person said, I'm not sure what was his name. I forgot, but I'm going to put it in the description box down below. His name. He said like, I cannot see my shadow. I'm always gonna have a blind spot, and that's where people in community comes in and say, hey, you know, watch there. You know, you overstep there, or you did not see this thing, but I see it, right? And it's like, you know, people are going to see the blind spots that you miss, but at the end of the day, you always know what is better for you. You know, you always know what works for you, what doesn't. Like, that's why you like some foods and some foods you don't like, and that's why your body sometimes gets the ick, and sometimes your body's like and all that. Like your body knows, like, you know, you are here, you came here whole, you came here knowing everything, like you always know. Like my intuition knew something was about to go down in August. I just did not know what. And I had this feeling since May, and I told my sister, like, I don't know what's gonna happen, but something is going down in August. And August was such a terrible month. I don't want to go back there. Like, I had a really terrible time, okay? Because it was also involved around my 8th house, which that's where I have my Leo moon, and it was terrible. I don't want to remember that. Well, you never truly forget, you know. This is some bullshit that 2000 sold you. Like, just forget. And a lot of people say just forget. They don't know that somatically you cannot do that. You weren't made to forget. You were made to remember, so you can protect yourself and keep yourself safe. You know, you cannot truly forget. So yeah, friendships can be really hard when you have to live them. At least that's for me. You know, it's friendships have always been really important for me. Most important than everything else, because like I come from a home that wasn't broke home, you know, that wasn't good, and I tried to create family and friendships and everyone around me and everything around me. And when, you know, when friendships are so important for you, and they ended up, you know, like disappointing you, it's really hard and really sad. But what I learned through these friendships is that I need to come back to myself. Like, I put it so much power, and I give so much of my time and energy and just presence, and generally, you know, like, I've been distracted with everybody else's problem. I've been distracted with this person and that person and this drama and this trauma and this and that it was like one way to just get out of my own problems, right? And not face them and distract myself. But that was until shit hit the fan, and I was like, oh, you know, and life started to isolate me in ways, and life started to, you know, universe started to isolate me and show me things. It's like, oh, the ugly truth that sometimes we don't like to hear. But yeah, the truth is, people disappoint us. Truth is, friendships don't last forever, and that's for, you know, that is good, you know, because you change. If you're a person that changes all the time and doesn't resist the change and doesn't like want to stay the same, if you're a person that outgrew things and evolve, then, you know, that's a good thing, because like each person is a beautiful experience that we get to have. It's a beautiful thing that we get to connect. It's a beautiful thing that I get to see your point of view, get to hear your ideas, get to see through you and feel, you know, with you things. But, you know, everything ends at the end of the day. And I used to believe and think that it's a bad thing, and sometimes I deal with that really harshly, because like I have a lot of expensive energy in my chart. But it's like, but endings need to happen, you know, like summer needs to end for autumn to enter. And autumn is such a great season. I love that, you know, like things need to change, because if they don't change, they get stuck, they get stagnant, and that's where the energy is not moving and flowing. That's when, you know, we feel grumpy and we feel depressed, and we just feel like, you know, we just feel so stuck in our lives. And I mean, we were going to have our seasons, right? Like we're going to have seasons like those, till we figure out a way to unstuck ourselves. But yeah, friendships are like that, you know. Friendships, they come in our lives, they go, and that's not a terrible thing. That's not a bad thing, you know, because like each one of the people that came in my life teach me something, and I've experienced something different with each one of these people that I keep sacred and cherished in my soul for the rest of my life. So that's a good thing, right? But also, you know, people come, you know, they come here to teach us some things, you know, to also experience with these people some really beautiful and great things, and make memories. But also some people are here to teach us some things, whether that is to love ourselves, whether it is to put ourselves first, whether that is, you know, to maybe respect others more, put others first sometimes, to just get on the back seat, you know, because like ego is big sometimes, and it gets in the way of our relationships and our friendships. So like, you know, it's a beautiful thing. But I had to let go of this person, and it was real difficult for me. I still love her, but you know what, I can no longer deal with disrespect, and I can no longer dim my self expression and generally my feelings to make everybody else feel comfortable and okay while I'm burning in my own hell. Like that cannot happen. That cannot keep going on. So yeah, that's what I wanted to say. I don't know, I hope this video helped in a way. I hope this video, I don't know, shed some light. Thank you for keeping me company and being here. I'm so blessed and happy. Like I saw a lot of, like, I have, you know, for me, it's like 100 views are a lot of views, and it's like, what? I don't even have like a big following in my Instagram account, and somehow here I am, you know. I'm thankful for each one of you, for each one of my subscribers, and for each one of the views. Thanks so much. Have a nice day, evening or night, wherever you are.